Anchorage Project in Dublin, unselfishly serving the people in the Ringsend community. A story of hope from a Dublin man here in Ringsend who's a true visionary. We hear so many bad news stories these days that I suppose we all experience moments when we feel powerless to help people who are going through hardship. Well, our next story this evening is designed to offer hope and inspiration when faced with that sense of powerlessness. Valerie Waters came here to Ringsend to visit the Anchorage Project and to meet Joe Donnelly, who really is a true visionary. He works to improve the lives of others here at home and really right across the globe.
Thousands of Dubliners pass by this church-like building every day. It's on York Road in Ringsend, which is adjacent to the Eastlink toll bridge. Its purpose was always to serve the local community, going right back to 1896. It was built by the Bewley sisters and Sir William Fry. Joe Donnelly now runs the Anchorage Project here.
This place here was the Ringsend Mission Hall, and in the late 90s I was approached by the trustees. They were old men at the time, and they had to make a decision as to whether the place would be demolished and apartments that we see all over the city would just smother this whole place, or whether there was anybody that really was able to use the place to serve the community. So, for better or for worse, I stepped forward with my wife and no money and few friends and decided to give it a go to see if we could do something that could serve the community and the wider purposes with a community project.
The services provided here are a preschool playgroup, which is run by Joe's wife Sharon, a plant sales area and a community cafe. Those who work in the various projects on both a paid and voluntary basis aim to keep the standard of service up to an excellent level. There is a strong sense of togetherness between the clientele and those who serve them. As a result of his experience here, Joe went on to do a master's.
Somebody said to me, would you not do a master's degree? Which is ridiculous. I left school at 15, but I got an incredible opportunity to do a master's degree, and for my thesis I wrote a paper. I researched the whole subject of hope and how communities connect with a sense of hope, and we've brought that idea then into this project here, and our focus in the work that we do here, as well as any work that we can do in other communities around the world, is to focus on the value of beauty and the importance of beauty in a community. As well as beauty, we have children. We want children to prosper and thrive. It's important that they do. It's a place where children can feel big and important. And as well as beauty and children, we affirm the value of community through the cafe. It's a space where really good food is relatively inexpensive, and there's a space there where different community groups can come in, they can hold meetings, friends can meet together, mums and toddlers can come in, they can check out the flowers, the rabbits, the birds, different type of thing. It's a space where people can help affirm the value of community. The fourth value is justice, and that's really like the bow that ties it all together. Whatever proceeds we have from selling flowers, from food in the cafe, childcare, everything people pay for us to provide this service, all of the net proceeds go to a different project in the developing world. It took us a couple of years to actually get about €5,000 to give away, and we were thrilled and delighted to have that. But in the last couple of years we've had up to €20,000 to give away, which you know, it's great, but I want 50. You know, I want 70, I want 100,000. You know, why not? Why should this place not develop into something like that?
This year, the Anchorage Project is donating its profits to the rescuing and rehabilitation of child soldiers in Africa. In the past, Joe and his wife Sharon have gone to places like Cambodia and South Africa to help set up services in disadvantaged communities in need of help.
I think one of the greatest scandals in the world is that 20% of the population of the planet consume 80% of the resources, and we leave 80% of the planet to 20% that's left. That really irks me every single day of my life. and that motivates me. I'm happy that charity does begin at home. 20% of all that we give away is given locally, but you know, it's a big suffering world out there as well. And so that actually just courses through my veins as well.
The first thing that catches your eye when you enter the cafe is a wall covered in the front pages of newspapers. Look closer and you'll see that all of the leading stories on those pages are good news stories. It started with a page from News 4, a local paper of whom Karen Keegan is the editor.
We were coming here for about a year having our meetings, and I noticed that there was just a random page of our front page of one of our newspapers on the wall there behind me. And I asked Joe, why is that sitting there? And he said that it inspired him to create a wall of good news. And we had a little discussion about it then, and we said, well, this is a great idea. It'll create a sense of hope in the community as well. People will feel good. Our newspaper makes people feel good. That's what we aim for. So I said, I can give you all the front pages that you want. He said, let's try and get other people involved with this. So we sat down and hammered out a little plan, and then he spoke to Roisin Ingle, who actually put it into her column in the Irish Times, and then the feedback was huge.
Getting all the front pages printed out and all, that was one thing, but then it came to the job of putting them up on the wall. And I approached a father and his daughter who just live around the corner, and they'd had a really tough year in the past year. They'd had a lot of knocks, bereavement and so forth and so on. And I said to them, would you do me the honour of actually helping me to decide how to put these up on the wall? We have to make sure that there's 2 Irish Times aren't together and 2 stories about jobs aren't together. We've got to spread them all around. And much to my delight, they eventually decided, yeah, okay, do you know what, we'll do this. And they got a lot out of it.
People with many different skills are instrumental in making this centre a pleasing, welcoming space where reaching out to know your neighbour is part of everyday life. Bob MacDonald is a qualified chef who volunteers to produce recipes and to advise staff at the cafe when he has time to get away from his own work in County Armagh.
It's a very easy thing to get involved with. Food's a pleasure thing, and if you can help somebody through pleasure, everybody's a winner. You know, it's a very morale boosting thing, and within our industry, we rarely get a chance. The best we can hope for is we make somebody happy. Doing this, you can change somebody's life, which is very rewarding.
Several of the companies in the local area have also been part of the construction of the centre through providing volunteer groups.
I learned that there was an organisation called Business in the Community, and they put us in touch with companies around the city that engage in something called community and social responsibility. And so we've had companies like Yahoo, like Deloitte, KPMG, and different companies like that, too numerous to mention. And they would send 40, 50, maybe 100 people down here, and I'd get organised shovels, wheelbarrows, rubbish skips, and several tons of stones or cement or whatever. And we'd all have a great time doing it. So it's really an important part of what you see here as being the passion, the energy, the generosity of companies like that, as well as key individuals who sort of are prepared to say, listen, I'm a tradesman, I'm a painter, I'm a carpenter, I'm a welder, I'm a bricklayer, whatever, and I'm happy to give you time to give you a dig out and get sorted out here.
And the work goes on still. There are plans to turn this area at the back into a garden for reflection and stillness. The experience here seems to be that generosity is definitely contagious, as one generous act has led on to many more.
What I found is that the funding won't always be there, but the people will always be there. And people are incredibly generous. And that's a great lesson that we've learned.
With an acute awareness of the injustices in the world, it is the sense of hope that motivates Joe and his team to do whatever they can to make life that bit better for either the local community or for those in the developing world.
I have a Christian worldview and values, and it informs what I do, it resources my thinking, and I'm very happy then, and my wife and I are on the same page, and you know, a lot of people would come alongside to volunteer with us. It's not an issue. They can be atheists, they can be Buddhists, they can be whatever. It's not a condition of being here, but that certainly resources my thinking and empowers me to do this type of work.
Joe Donnelly certainly is a very generous and interesting man, and if you'd like to find out more about the Anchorage, you can always drop into the Old Church and Cafe. It's just down the road here, beyond the toll bridge in Ringsend in Dublin.